Attention, attention, stop what you're doing. Because we're coming back to the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
Oh my God!
They went a little crazy with it, and I appreciate it.
Now let's get back with Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
Oh, it's such a there's so much going on. Let me do it. Look, that it kind of grabs a hold of your brain and sets it on fire. First of all, okay, a Bellingcat reporter has been arrested in absentia in Moscow, meaning that an arrest warrant. That's how they do it there, because they're just not. They're on the journalism beat now. That's like Russia's found its sweet spot. They're just going to arrest like anybody they can get their hands on.
Nice.
We talked the Jack Teixeira, the guy who worked in the Massachusetts National Guard, who leaked all the documents. Turns out he's been leaking stuff for a lot longer, and posted a message the day that he got busted saying, you know, guys, I don't feel like I'm gonna just put out documents anymore. Because apparently,
you know what? I'm so over this. I think people are on to me.
Yes, right. There's a knock at the door, and somebody at the one of the guys that may have been helping me a little or looking the other way has started looking at me funny.
Terrifying.
Yeah, and
he's gone away for a long time.
A long time, because it was all slapdash. There is don't anybody think for a second that this is like he was revealing the like U.S. corruption or violent acts by the military, anything even close to stuff that has come out because of Reality Winner or Chelsea Manning or any of that stuff. No, this isn't any of that. He was just being a lazy moron, just putting stuff out for like lulz and cred in a gamer chat. That's it. Let's see. Let's see. I want to grab one. I feel like I want to do. Okay, so there's a story about Apple. And we've been talking about them extracting themselves from China. They're moving their entire MacBook factory out of China and into Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. They're building a $120 million new plant where they're going to have it assembled in Vietnam. That's happening now. That grounds broken. There's a Harvard scientist, a chemist specifically, who was arrested because he was giving secrets to the Chinese, and he's trying to get out of out of jail time right now. Larry Summers says the story about the dollar's dominance waning and blah 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 is ridiculous, and he used to work in the White House, and I love it when people who actually have seen the economic data that only people in the White House can see, and they start telling you what I've been telling you for months. Israel is worried about the Sudan unrest because they think it will spill over, obviously, and cause more unrest in Syria. Blah blah blah. And James Gordon Meeks, some people will recall, the ABC news reporter who quit mysteriously and then had his door beat down by the FBI and was taken into custody. And at the time, Fox News and others were saying, oh my God, the Biden administration is rounding up journalists. There was rumors that he had classified documents on his laptop. And this is it. This is the authoritarianism. Here it comes. This is the tyranny of big government. Agenda 21. Agenda 21. Turns out he had child porn on every device in his home. And he was contacting a 16-year-old girl who is now a witness against him in court. An actual, because when Scott Ritter, the tanky's favorite, Russia whisperer, when he got busted, he was trying to canoodle with a 15-year-old, and it turned out to be a police officer, and he did 2 years for that. I gotta say, I think you got to do more time than that. I
agree.
If you're trying to pick up a child, a minor, I gotta say, we need some minimum sentencing on that stuff, because these guys don't tend to learn their lesson. And the idea that they could get another bite at the apple 2 years later is, it's grotesque. It's grotesque. Anyways, so he apparently, that they now have the primary witness against him is this 16-year-old girl who is going under the name minor child 1 in the court documents. Like even talking about this story makes my skin crawl. And the way that the right, because Biden's president while this guy was arrested. And by the way, do you think he gathered all this stuff magically in the first 6 months of the Biden administration, or do you think this is a lifelong habit? And that they finally caught this creep, right? Anyways, that's pretty horrifying. But on top of that, I mean, that's all chump change. All that story, blah blah blah. The big story, the biggest story of all. Donald Trump calls the Wall Street Journal a globalist-inspired paper and says that they're the worst because they printed a poll, which is accurate, that shows while he is leading in the Republican primary, Republicans themselves think DeSantis has a better chance of beating Biden than he does.
Whoa.
Oh, you don't. Well, how dare you? How dare you, sir? According to the poll released on Friday, the poll finds a number of advantages for Mr. DeSantis in the contest. He carries a more positive image than Trump, with 84% viewing him favorably compared to 78% who say that of Trump. Wow. 41% of GOP primary voters say DeSantis would have a better chance of beating Biden, while 31% say Trump would. Which, by the way, that means 30% are either talking about other people or don't think either one of them has a shot. That's great. That's magic. That in turn led Trump to lash out from Truth Social. He said, in the polls, I am beat Biden everywhere. I am beat Biden everywhere. I am beat Biden everywhere. Yes.
You and me both, pal.
Yeah, seriously. By a lot, except in the globalist-inspired Wall Street Journal, one of the worst and most partisan media outlets anywhere. This is Rupert Murdoch's business newspaper. The Wall Street Journal. What? This bizarre attempt to everyman blue collar himself is hilarious and pathetic, obviously. But the fact that it has led to him, becoming a Florida man, fleeing New York City, fleeing Manhattan, which was his, the sort of the real estate crown that he wore. Was look how I made it in Manhattan. He built it on his dad's stuff and whatever. Yeah. Dynasty rules. But the idea that he's attacking the Wall Street Journal, can I just say, is delicious. I think that's awesome.
Where else is he? Who's going to be in his corner aside from the National Enquirer?
Right. This is a guy who even last night when he did his Lee County Republican Party dinner that he was at, because the man who used to do 65,000 person rallies is now sort of headlining the Lee County Republican Party thing. And only because he went on later than Tucker Carlson, who people were more enthused to see, apparently. But this is a guy who at events like that, when the only people covering it, news-wise, are RSBN, home of Marjorie Taylor Greene's current side piece.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe his own campaign cameras. That's the other thing. The majority of these things are his own campaign cameras. Then RSBN, then perhaps the local news might be there because he's in a particular place and they send somebody down with a camera to just film it in case anything happens. It happened right here in Washoe County. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's the only people there. CNN's not there. MSNBC isn't there. They'll buy a feed from somebody else if they want it later, but it's a mess. Nobody is sending anybody. They sent it down to Waco because it was insane. It was news like a slow speed chase. But they're not sending people to a Lee County Republican dinner to watch this idiot say the same stuff over and over. And what does he do still? From the stage, oh, look at all the fake news back there. I'm like, dude, it's your campaign, your friends, and some local camera dude who's paid an hourly wage to film it on behalf of, WWAX, Fort Myers, action news team. It's so pitiful. We got to take a break. When we come back, Philip Bittner will be joining us live from Kiev, and I believe that's where he is. But he moves around a lot these days. We'll have to find out. We'll be back.